This is the first. I'm sure they'll give me great reviews, right? You know, they'll say he was horrible, he was terrible, it was a horrible situation. No, we'll do fine. I've watched some of the people that host. Jimmy Kimmel was horrible.
Donald Trump looked into the camera and called Jimmy Kimmel a CIA scripted propagandist. He said Kimmel was paid to lie. He said the jokes weren't jokes. They were scripts handed down by corrupt elites who wanted to control what Americans thought. He said Kimmel was dangerous. He said Kimmel was a weapon. If you remember the golden age of American television, you remember a time when no politician called a comedian a national security threat. Johnny Carson roasted presidents from Eisenhower to Reagan, and every one of them understood that being the punchline was part of the job. It meant you mattered. It meant people were watching. But something has changed.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
And the night Kimmel walked back onto that Hollywood stage, he was carrying something that made the front row go very quiet before he had said a single word. A stack of printed papers, thick, held in both hands. He set them on the desk and looked at the audience. He said, "So the president called me a propagandist this week. He said I read scripts prepared by the CIA."
Keep saying we have bad ratings, and you should listen to him, because if anyone knows about bad ratings, it's that guy.
That is the lowest it's been in his second term.
It is at a low of the second term.
The lowest of his second term.
La aprobación del presidente Donald Trump se desploma a los niveles más bajos.
Más lagos, what does that mean, Guillermo?
His rating is very low.
Oh, so that's bad.
Yeah, bajo, low.
He paused. He picked up the top sheet. He said, "I want to read you a script tonight." He looked up. Not mine, his. The first email hit the screen behind him. Kimmel read the subject line out loud. "Emergency, they're coming for you." He looked at the audience. He said, "This arrived at 11:47 p.m. He continued reading. The email described a massive, corrupt conspiracy. Hollywood elites, fake news anchors, deep state operatives, all working together to destroy the president and destroy his supporters. It demanded an immediate donation of $25 to fight back." Kimmel set the page down. He said, "That is a script written by someone to make you feel something specific. On a deadline, at midnight." The audience laughed, but it was not easy laughter. It had an edge. He picked up the second email subject line. "They silenced us once, not again." Kimmel read it slowly. It described the mainstream media as an organized criminal enterprise. It named specific anchors as enemy operatives. It said real Americans, people like the recipient, were the last line of defense. It asked for $35 by midnight. Kimmel set it down. He said, "I count the word you 14 times in 9 sentences." He looked at the audience, a propagandist. He said, "Tells you what to think. This tells you what to feel. Then it tells you what to pay." The studio went quiet in the way it goes quiet when comedy stops being comedy. He picked up the third email. He said, "This one's my favorite. Subject line, Jimmy Kimmel is laughing at you." He paused. He looked at the camera. He said, "I am. In fact, the villain in his own fundraising email." He read it. The email described Kimmel as a Hollywood elite who mocked real Americans every night from a mansion while they struggled. It said, Kimmel was funded by the same people destroying the country. It asked for $20 to prove the elites couldn't win. Kimmel set it down. He said, "I grew up in Brooklyn in a 2-bedroom apartment." He paused, "But I appreciate the mansion." The audience erupted. Kimmel waited. Then he stopped smiling. He said, "Here's what a propagandist actually does." He picked up the full stack and held it up. A propagandist finds out what you are afraid of. Then he sells you the fear. Then he sells you the solution. Then he sends the invoice at midnight. He set the stack down for the last time. He looked directly into the lens. He said, "I make jokes." He does the emails. One of us is scripted. One of us charges for it. The studio rose, not with the roar of a punchline landing, but with the particular sound of an audience that had just watched someone take a weapon aimed at them and hold it up to the light. The next morning, Trump posted that Kimmel had terrible ratings and no talent. He did not address the emails. He did not deny the subject lines. He did not explain who writes them at midnight or what the money is used for. He posted about ratings. He moved on. But the emails were still there, printed, read on national television, every word his. Subscribe to the narrative brief and turn on notifications. He called it propaganda. Kimmel read the receipts. If you believe the record matters, you know where the subscribe button is.